Hello, everybody. So what we're going to do here is we're going to sign some really cool Stanley pictures that we then go and put inside the book. So this is my book, and a lot of you guys have bought it. I appreciate that. It's a kid's book called Stanley the Dog, The First Day of School. I don't know why I had to look at it to say that. I've said this about 10,000 times. But very proud of it and really appreciative that you guys have been so kind to not only buy it, but to also tweet about it and do Instagram stories about it, and just thanks, like forever. So this is what I'm signing here. The Stanley's big. These are bigger. These are Stanley stickers. So I'll sign it, put it right in the book, mail it right to you. We tried this with our version of it, and it was us doing it, but now we have a real live company that's going to handle all this. So thank you. I got a lot of questions here you guys have been asking. I don't even know if anyone's watching. I get to be talking to myself at this point right now. Which is most of my Instagram lives. So I will sign and I will answer questions, and then we'll do some other stuff too. This is from Sean in Iowa. Why did you decide to write a children's book this time around? Well, I didn't decide this time around. I was finally just given a yes this time around. I tried to get a kid's book off the ground like 5 years ago. After the Raging Kitty-Its, we did our kids record, and it did better than I thought it would. And I said, I'll just do a kid's book then. Kind of a similar-ish message. I don't think you can ever have too many messages of positivity, and it's okay even if you don't fit in right now, that message. And so nobody wanted it, but I wrote Bare Bones, and then I wrote this book here, and then they were like, you want to write another book? And I did not want to write another book, especially not one like that. I said, I've always wanted to write a kid's book though. And so we talked about it, and I kind of gave them the theme, and that is how the book came about, because I've been trying for so long, and honestly, I just finally had enough leverage that they said, okay, we'll do it. And thank you guys for proving me right. But I feel good about it because, this book here is about Stanley, yes, it's about Stanley, but it's not really about Stanley. It's kind of about all of us, right? So I wanted to incorporate not only the message of we all feel like we don't fit in sometimes. We all feel a little awkward sometimes. But it's not the truth, one, because everybody else feels that at the same time. But two, the things that we're most worried about that are going to keep us from fitting in are actually the things that make us the coolest, or actually give us the character that we have, actually make us us. And in the book, Stanley goes and he's nervous about his first day of school because he doesn't look like the other dogs. The other dogs are cooler and taller, and they know what they're doing. And Stanley's like, look at me, I'm kind of just here and kind of goofy, but at the end I don't want to spoil it, right? But at the end he saves the cat with his big old belly, he catches the cat. So it was that. Yes, it's about animals, and any money that by the way, I'm not making money doing this here. I'm not getting paid anything. At least I don't think I am. Am I getting paid for this? No. Yeah, I'm not making any money doing this. So this isn't me trying to make a couple bucks. This is me just making sure if you guys wanted to get a signed book, you can, and it's basically the same price if you were getting the book anyway, honestly. It's $20, right, Morgan? Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's all. I'm volunteering my time because if you want it signed, I would love to get it to you signed. So thank you for asking that question, and that's why I did the book. Any money for the first year that I make off of this, I am donating to the animal organization that we adopted Eller from, which is called Wags and Walks Nashville. So mostly it was about continuing this message of inclusivity, and it was also about making sure that people knew the animal organization and giving them some money. So this is definitely not a project that I was looking to make a bunch of money off of, honestly. So again, thank you for just turning this on, which it could be. I'm signing these Stanley pictures, and they're going to go right in the book right here, and we're going to mail them right to you. But we have a real company that's handling it this time, so you will get it for sure. The next thing, what's the main theme you want readers to take away? That's from Shannon, Indiana. Mostly it's, I hope the kids that read it take away that you don't have to look like the other kids at school to be cool. You don't have to have the things that they have or say the things that they say. If you're just yourself, eventually you're going to figure out that specifically who you are is really freaking cool. And so that's the message I wanted her to get. It took me forever to find that out. Hopefully I'll find it out tomorrow. But for me, that's what it was about. I'll answer a few more questions, and then I'll show you what's in my fanny pack. Who or what inspired the characters in the book? Well, Stanley and me, and then the rest was just the different kinds of dogs that I felt would be like a proper dog or big dog, or so it was just kind of the breed and their attitudes. So it wasn't so much what the dogs look like. I guess Stephanie, the illustrator of the book, definitely did a great job of making the dogs look a certain way. But I just feel like certain dogs have personalities, and some are snootier than I felt like a poodle. That's a snooty dog. So that's kind of what it was about. I just wanted to show the different groups, and this is just a metaphor for humans too. It was just easy to do with Stanley. My original book idea was about Big Head Bobby, the actual character here, because I did a song about Big Head Bobby, and in the song on the kids' record, Big Head Bobby has a huge head. Obviously, I had a huge head as a kid, still do, but my body has grown. I had the same exact head when I was born. I was a baby with the same exact head. Imagine that. And so what happened was, in this town, in this fictional town where Big Head Bobby lives, the dam was breaking. And so it's cracking, and they didn't know what to do. No one could solve out how to save the dam. As it cracked, and there was a big hole in it, and the water started to pour through, Big Head Bobby used his humongous head and placed it in the dam and plugged up the dam. And then the town, which made fun of him for his big head, all of a sudden they were like, Big Head Bobby saved our town. And so he went from being the guy with the big head in a bad way to the guy that has a big head, but he used it in an awesome way to actually save the town and help the people. So that was going to be the original book. And then obviously we had Stanley, and I had Stanley like I had him in labor. But obviously we have Stanley, and I wanted to make it a little warmer than humans. And so Big Head Bobby's still in the book, but he's a side character now. So it's kind of like my marriage, kind of a side character now. That's what I feel like sometimes. Because my wife is awesome, and everybody only cares about her now, and I'm just little old me. That's okay. Signing these. Do we have anybody watching? A few. If you're watching this, Morgan's really timid about saying yes to that. If you're watching on Facebook, are you watching on Facebook? Yes. Bob Show Facebook. You can go over to the Premier Collectibles site, and you can get a signed Stanley book. It doesn't really cost any more than the actual book. If I'm just being honest with you, I ain't making any money off this. I feel like I'm on QVC, by the way, but same book, same situation, $20, and we'll mail it to you, and that's it. I ain't making any money to do this. I ain't making any extra money. The more books I sell here, literally people were just like, how do I get an autographed book? So we lined it up, and I'm going to sign them until my hand falls off, if that happens. So thank you very much. Let's see. Another question. Oh, people always ask me, what's in your bag? What's in your fanny pack? I'm not a pocket guy anymore. I've decided. Pockets for losers. And sometimes my pants are a little too tight, and then all you see is like a phone ripping out of it, or keys, which sucks, or a wallet. I probably bought my wallet a little too big. So I just do a bag. And this, in the morning, is my bag I take in because it's big. I can actually put a laptop in this if I need to. It's like a big, they call it crossbody bag. But the question I get the most is, what do you put in your bag? When I go to the morning show, I take the bag. It's not in here now, but I have keys, allergy medicine, my phone, my wallet. It's not in here now, but I take 2 bottles of water, a bar, like to eat in the middle of the show, my wallet. And so I just cram it full of all the crap that I need. And then some water packets, liquid IVs, that basically just make the water taste better, because I'm 11 years old. And I need candy water if I'm going to drink water. So now if it's just a smaller bag like I was wearing last night, it's just I'm wearing jeans and it's phone, wallet, keys. If I'm going to work out, it's all that. But I'm a big now proponent of having a little crossbody bag, often called a fanny pack, and even called that by me. So there you go. All right. Will this book be turned into a series, or maybe a show or a movie? I mean, that would kind of be the goal, right? We had a conversation with the book company, and it was like, hey, you want to do a bunch of books, buy a few more books. At the time, I chose not to. I don't know what the deal is going to be. I think we can. I just want to make sure we do it with the right folks, because if we do it and put all this work into it, I want to make sure it's on a place where people can actually see it. So that'd be awesome. But right now, I mean, literally, the more books we sell, the more money that we get to donate to the animal organization. And that's just kind of been the goal for me. Favorite thing to do in Nashville? Well, I can tell you what we did last night. I don't know that I have a favorite thing other than stay home. But we went to dinner last night at a place called St. Stephen's. And so my wife and I, rewind, 4 days ago or so, the night before our anniversary, because our anniversary was on Sunday. We're 1 year, by the way. No, thank you. You gotta stop complimenting me on but no, thank you. Let me move on with the story. So Saturday night, we had our anniversary dinner, and we went to this restaurant, and we met the chef because he was going to the tables, and he was like, "Hey, are you Bobby?" I was like, "Yeah." So we talked a little bit, and he has another restaurant in town. I gave him my number, and he texted me. I text him. He's like, "Hey, we're doing this thing at St. Stephen's." So me, Caitlin, and Eddie went to St. Stephen's and had dinner last night, and it was awesome. And we got back about 8:30, and we called it a day. So that's what we did last night. So I guess our favorite thing to do is to actually go to dinner maybe once a week. We kind of have the same place that we're always ordering from as well. So we do a lot of that, a lot of Uber, not a lot. Caitlin cooks a decent amount too. And then we have HelloFresh, which is pretty good too. So, but probably that. I like to play golf, but it's too hot. I like to play PlayStation. Those are really the only two things that I do that's fun, I would consider fun. But I've just stayed off the road a bit. Whenever we went to Costa Rica for a month, it was difficult. Just because I was down there for a month. I'd never been to South America. We were going down to shoot the show Snake in the Grass, which starts next Tuesday night, the 26th, whatever night that is, Tuesday. It'll be on NBC next Tuesday night. I hope you guys watch it after America's Got Talent. But we went down to shoot that show, and we were there for almost 5 weeks. And it sounds all fun, but I got a real job, like an everyday morning show job. That's like my main thing. And so I was in the jungle for about 12 hours, and then I would do the radio show for 5.5, 6, depending. And so there was just no time. We were down there, we were away from home, and then we also were just in Central America not doing anything fun. Most people are like, "Oh, went to Costa Rica," and it sounds fancy. And I guess it is for them, but for us, it wasn't. So I told Caitlin I would stay off the road for the first 6 months. So I do the occasional thing, but haven't been traveling a whole lot because of that. By the way, if you're watching this, you can buy this book. Home Shopping Network. Here you go. But you can buy this book. I don't make any extra money off of it. I'm not getting paid to do this. You don't even have to buy it. Heck, you don't want to buy it, cool with me. But so many people have said that they wanted a signed book. By the way, even if you don't care about it signed and you're like, "Oh yeah, I want to remember to get that," it's only $20 to get this book signed, when usually it's $18.99 on the back. What the crap? It's basically the same. You're getting it for free, not for free. You're basically getting the signature for free, which it ain't worth much anyway. But I saw like other people sign and charging a whole bunch of money for it. That ain't how I do things. So you can get it. Just click the button. I'm sure there's a button there somewhere. Buy the book. Buy 5 books. I'm not keeping any money what these books make for a whole year. And after a year, they ain't gonna make any money anyway. So we're donating to the animal organization. So if you're watching, thank you. I just got off the air. We did the post show. If you're watching on the Bobby Bones Show feed or listening to the podcast, jumped in my car, flew home, came in, gave my wife the flowers I got her. She wasn't even there. She was down in the backyard, so I couldn't give them to her. So I called her and said, "I left your flowers there." And then I ran over here to do this. And then from this, I have a podcast that I'm recording with Tyler Hubbard from Florida Georgia Line. So we'll do that for an hour. It never stops, but it's my fault. All right, is there anything I need to know, Morgan?
No, you can just continue going through the questions. Do you want me to ask you some?
I probably have some more here. Favorite memories from... Is anybody buying a book? I literally see nothing. So I don't know. Is anybody buying a book?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they bought them in advance as well.
Oh. So that really means... I'm going to interpret Morgan for you. You guys aren't buying many books right now. So I'm sitting here signing all this Not making any money, and nobody's buying any books. And that's okay, but just know that when I get off this thing, what time is it? In, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so, and I see I didn't sell any books at all, I'm going to cry in the closet. Favorite memories from Dancing with the Stars and American Idol. I'll start with Dancing with the Stars. You know, it's one of the first times in my professional career, and I've only had a few, but one where I remember getting some advice from Drew, the property brother, and he said, hey, you know, it's Dancing with the Stars, right? You're not going to, nothing crazy is going to happen from this show, but it's a really cool experience. And when do you get to train with like a professional athlete, like for free? Like if you, and so I really took that to heart. And he's like, just take a few moments during the show when you're either doing the actual live show or to practice, and just like take it in. Like, look at the little things, look at the details, just so you can remember them when it's over. Like really focus on it, because some things you're going to remember naturally, but some things you're not. And so I did that a few times, and it was just great advice, because looking back, I was in way over my head. And I like to talk about that show, not because I won, and that was cool, but not because I'm like, look at me, I won. But that was a show that I won because we just figured out a different way to win. And I feel like that's a bit of a metaphor for anything we're doing, meaning you don't have to do it the same way everybody else has done it to actually be really successful at it. You know, we see people do things and it looks like A, B, C, D. All right, you start at A, you end on D, and that's how you're successful. But that ain't really how it is. It's not real life. So especially if you're like me, you're not extremely talented, especially at dance. I really don't have a big talent, a specific talent at anything, but I found kind of a back door to get through and continue living on that show week to week, and then to win. Most people go on that show and it's like, I have to get high scores and that's it. And listen, I was trying to get the highest scores I could get, but I never had any experience. I was years and years behind a lot of them in dance training. But I figured out by the rules, it was half scores, half people. And I'm like, I will train as hard as I possibly can, but I'm going to focus on making sure that my story is out there, that I'm out there having fun. I'm going as hard as I go. If I fall, I fall, like just giving it all. And that's how he won. And it's unlike any way anyone else has ever won on that show. And my point with that is not that I want a dance show. That's freaking crazy. I want a dance show. But it's that anything you're trying to do as well, you don't have to do it the same way everybody else has done it. And that's not the only way to get to whatever it is you're looking for, whatever it is you're chasing. So, you know, I say it, success is not a straight line. It really isn't. If you see somebody that has crushed it and it looks so easy, that's just like looking at a neighbor on Instagram who's got all these cool things happening. You're only seeing the part that the people want you to see. It's like my friends who go to Vegas or bet on a bunch of games. I only hear about their wins. They don't come back, and most times they don't win money because Vegas doesn't exist because people win all the time. They come back and just share the big things. They don't talk about all the losses they have unless you're like, hey, how much did you lose? So that from Dancing with the Stars, looking at the little things and figuring out a way to actually win the show. Even if I wouldn't have won, I still would have felt like that was a win. But figuring out a way to win the show that hadn't been done before. Then they changed the rules the next season because of me. And then they took it off the network. Now it's on Disney Plus. I saw they hired Carlton as one of the hosts with Tyra Banks. Listen, they were talking to me about hosting that show for a long time. And it was like, we want you to be the host. We want you to be the host. We think you're the next host. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't the next host. And I was like, well, that was interesting. Walked down all that 10 miles with them and saw a headline. I was like, well, I guess I'm not the next host. Thanks for reporting it, BuzzFeed. All right. Thank you. Wanda in Athol, Massachusetts, or Atoll, Massachusetts. Listen to you every day. Just ordered your book. You're so awesome. Thank you. The last part I would disagree with, but the rest of it, thank you for ordering the book. That's very kind of you. And this is it. Stanley the Dog, first day at school. If you're watching this on the Facebook feed, you can go over to it's up there, right? The site. Go over there and get the book. For those that just turned it on, I am not making any money for this. I just want everybody to know, no money. And any money I do make off this goes to the dog shelter. So if anything, you should donate just because I'm tired. All right. Do you have a dog of your own? And what's his or her name? From Pennsylvania. Well, you seem to be a new fan. This is Stanley. This is my dog. He's a bulldog. He's had 9 surgeries. He's had 2 eyes, an ear, a wiener, 2 stomachs, a nose, another. He's had a lot of surgery. When I got him, he was really not good. But he's back. He's rocking now. But that's Stanley. And then Eller is the dog we adopted about a year ago. A little more than that now. But we have Eller as well. And she's not in this book because I did the whole book before we had Eller. These books take a long time because of the art, and that's all, the art, I guess. But Eller's awesome, but she wasn't awesome when we first got her. Caitlin was like, I want a dog. It's a female. It's kind of like, she was her dog, but like a new our dog. Because I had Stanley before I knew Caitlin. I was like, great. I love dogs. Can't get enough. So we found one, and they were like, Eller's just taken off the street. His name wasn't Eller then. But we went, and she was small, like this big. And we're like, how old is she? And then some woman, I don't know who she is or who she was. She was like, oh, she's this old. It wasn't that old. She's younger than that. And so we get her, and she's aggressive as crap because she'd been on the street. She'd been fighting. I don't know if she'd been fighting, but she had to like make sure if she was going to eat, she had to like go get it. And so she's very aggressive. And so when she's real little, that wasn't such a big deal. It was annoying because she was like biting into her hands and stuff. But she would attack Stanley. But as she was getting bigger, it was tough. And we had like an aggression specialist come over. It was like $80 for an hour, and nothing happened. I was more aggressive. So because I had to pay $80 and nothing happened. And she was like, this dog's never going to be good. Like, these 2 dogs can't live together. I'm glad you cut it early. You can find another home for her. And Caitlin just refused to let that happen. And so we just kept working with her. We have a friend who's a trainer, and you have to train the human as much as you do the dog because we had to make sure we were still doing everything right. And she slowly became slightly less aggressive, slowly and slightly, until it was just mostly gone. And I really wasn't trusting her still to be with just Stanley. I was always there, and then there were a couple times where like she escaped in the house. Like we have a door with the lock, and she figured out how to undo the lock, and she'd just be in the house with Stanley for like 2 hours, and neither one of them were dead. And so we were like, all right, we got some growth here. So we slowly realized we had just been so consistent with Eller that, and I don't want to jinx anything, but she hasn't been aggressive in months and months and months, and they hang out all the time. Like they're like best friends now. So Eller, she's named after Aunt Eller in the movie Oklahoma, the play Oklahoma. Caitlin named after her because she's from Oklahoma. But yes, I do have those 2 dogs, and they're awesome. And the place we got Eller from is the place we're donating the money to from the book. Yes, Morgan, looks like you're itching to say something.
Wags and Walks.
I said that. Wags and Walks Nashville. Yeah, thanks.
I'm sending you more questions. You're done.
I mean, I feel like I could just answer one for an hour if I needed to. Nah, I'm all right. All right. You sending it to my phone? Oh, from the Facebook feed? Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. You plan on doing any readings in schools around Nashville? Yeah, we tried. I think COVID's a thing, and then also schools are out. So we probably will possibly try once schools are back in. Let's see. Got some questions from Morgan here. All right. Who was the first celebrity you ever interviewed in radio? That'd be Darius Rucker. I was 17 years old. The band Hootie and the Blowfish was doing a thing at Magic Springs theme park in Hot Springs, Arkansas. No, not Hot Springs. We drove to Little Rock. They were playing a show in Little Rock, and they were like, you'll talk to one of the band members. I was such a massive fan of Hootie and the Blowfish when I was 17, 18. I didn't care who it was. Knew them all. Dean, Mark, Brian, Darius. But I was like, dang, it'd be awesome if I got Darius. And I was in a room, and we just waited for one of them to walk in. It was Darius. And I was so nervous. I was basically shaking. And Darius kind of interviewed himself, if I'm being honest. He kind of calmed me down. And Darius and I are still friends today. It's been pretty crazy, the paths we've taken, and we tell that story sometimes. Sometimes he'll tell the story. I'll see a clip of him talking about it. So Darius was the first celebrity I ever interviewed. Is Stanley aware of how famous he is? Not because of the book, but just generally, yes, he's aware. He's always been aware since he was born. But Stanley's awesome now. Bulldogs are tough. in that they're just sick. They're born basically sick. I don't think they should make bulldogs, honestly. I love Stanley, but they're all sick because they're inbred. Their noses are crunched in. It's like I feel bad for them because they're just not healthy. And so we've gotten Stanley to a place. I mentioned earlier he's had 9 surgeries, and I've seen some countries that are like, hey, we're banning making any more bulldogs because it's not nice to make them. So it's tough. And I think if it had been me 5 or 7 years ago, I don't think I could have taken Stanley because I couldn't have afforded it. Luckily, I knew he needed some work and some surgeries, and I can afford it now. So I was like, let's go. But bulldogs, man, tough. Love him. He's awesome. And I'm not trying to give him back, but just in the future, bulldogs are tough, man. If radio and television went away tomorrow, what job would you want to do? I don't know if this is cheating and do another one of my jobs, writing books or doing comedy or speaking. But if all that's off the table, performing, I don't know. I just retire. I'd be a stay-at-home husband. If it ain't creative, I don't really have another talent there. Everything I did was either labor or creative. There was nothing in the middle. I went from roofing houses, working at a marina, fixing boats, that kind of stuff, to getting paid to be creative. So I don't really even have anything. And if I said like create ad campaigns for brands or do branding for social media, maybe that, because there's some creativity there. But I'd probably just retire. How was your recent vacation? Any highlights? It's all up on Instagram. We took a bunch of pictures. The crazy thing is, and it's up, Mr. Bobby Bones. The crazy thing is that we take pictures and we post all this stuff that we're doing, some cool, some not. And we get all these messages like, we can't believe you paid to take a photographer with you. Now, here's the truth about all that. We don't pay, nobody goes with us. It's just Caitlin and I. Do I have someone on staff that just takes pictures that's like my video guy who set this up, who runs and edits the Bobbycast? Yes. His name's Reed. He's C+ at best. But I'm kidding. Reed's sitting right there. But he doesn't go on vacation with us. That would be weird. So we either take pictures of each other, we put the camera. Caitlin can like get a log. She can prop a camera up, even though there's nothing to prop it on. It's wild. So we prop a camera up, or we get somebody with us to take it of us. But those usually suck. We had a guide and we went and climbed. He was really good. And so, but no, we don't take a photographer with us. We don't. And Reed only goes with me if it's something professional, meaning he'll be at the Opry when I perform at the Opry. And I am performing Friday night, huh?
Yeah.
Which I'm performing Friday night at the Opry, getting just some reps in before I do my 2 more shows here in town, or if I'm on tour or that kind of thing. But no, nobody goes with us. And we don't take a hair and makeup. We don't take anybody with us. And people were hitting Caitlin online going, I can't believe you take a hair and makeup person with you. And she was like, I'm both equally irritated and complimented. Irritated because people think we're taking all this, we hire people to go with us on vacation, which we don't. And then 2, she's like, but they must think I have pretty good hair and makeup then if they think we're hiring somebody. So there's that. Are you sending me more or no? Mm-hmm. Okay. Were you in any dangerous situations when you filmed Snake in the Grass? Well, so they had snake handlers there, and they were with us at all times to make sure that while we're in the jungle, we did not get attacked or did not get into any sort of snake issues. So we were watched a lot. I was on the edges of a lot of things that were very far falls, but the safety is crazy good, and they make sure that you are tied to somebody or something if you're even close to it. So it felt dangerous to me, but it really wasn't. But the snakes were good. The only thing that felt weird about Costa Rica was when we got there were people on the streets with humongous guns, and just in the middle of the street. And you're like, uh-oh, what's happening? They're just going to pull us over. And like the stories of I hear in Mexico. And it's actually not that. The people in Costa Rica are so kind and cool. They don't even have a military, which is crazy. But what they're trying to do is catch people that are moving drugs through the country from, I believe Colombia is below and going up through Costa Rica into Nicaragua, and I could be off on where the countries are because I'm not an expert or even really on what's there, but they're trying to find those cars full of drugs. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, they're not trying to stop us and take anything. But I was nervous when I went down because I just was not familiar with anything below Texas. And so I was like, oh man, what's going to happen down here? But it was really awesome. And Morgan came down. I was down there. I'd been there like a week and a half or so. And Morgan came down. She stayed the whole rest of the time. But I don't think she's ever left, the spot between Memphis and Nashville ever. And so she was nervous. She's like, oh, am I going to die? Am I going to get murdered? But a few days in, even Morgan was like, wow, she's running around. She got her own long gun running through the streets. Everybody, it was all good. So that's that. Okay. A couple things. Do I know who the snake was? In the show, occasionally I figured it out. They did not tell me. So when you see me talking to them at the beginning, I didn't know who the snake was. And that show, you're just trying to figure out who's lying, right? All of the, there's the jungle, there's people flying over things, but it's really just, can you tell who's lying? Everybody thinks I can tell who's lying, like in real life, but can you really tell who's lying? And at the beginning, I didn't know them. There was nothing going on, so I had no idea who it was. But I would watch them play the game too. And there were 8 episodes that we did, and I think I was right 4, maybe 5 times. And I got to see everything. But the cool thing about the show is they don't edit in and out stuff to manipulate you to go a direction. They were very purposeful, which I thought was cool. Very purposeful to not send you down a road just for the sake of sending you away from the snake. So, yeah, the 26th, next Tuesday night on NBC, you can watch. And then it goes to USA starting August 1st. All right. I only got about 5 minutes left in me. We got people watching still? Mm-hmm. You can get a book, $20 right here. If you're getting a book anyway, I would just get it now. It doesn't really cost any more than it would at the store. Hey, you can save gas. It costs you as much in gas to get down the block than it is to buy the book here. But I'm signing the Stanley the Dog, and it's like Stanley art. Boom, put it in right here, send it right to you. So there's that. All right, let me answer. I'll do 3 more questions, and then I'm going to call it a day. All right. Let's see. I have another, why did you decide to write a children's book this time around? And this is just, I'll do it again if you guys are just tuning into the Facebook feed or into the premiere site. I tried to write one earlier and nobody wanted it. And I had written 2 other books, and they, fortunately, were very successful. I didn't want to write any other books because I didn't feel like I had something to offer that I hadn't already offered. And I don't want people paying for stuff just for the sake of them paying for it. Because if I do that once and I just put out garbage to make quick money, you guys aren't going to be with me if I do anything else. Because you're just going to know that that's my plan, that's what I'm up to. So I said, nope, no more books. Heck, I didn't want to do the second book, honestly. But I did after I had the idea for it. And so I said, no more books. And then it was, okay, you came to us with a kid's book. Would you still want to do that? I was like, heck yeah, I already have the idea. But it's about, you feel like you don't fit in, but really, you're actually awesome for that exact reason that you think you don't fit in. And we use Stanley as an example. He's kind of goofy looking, big, doesn't really fit in with the other dogs, and all the dogs have their own little cliques. That was the idea. So I wrote it because I've been begging to write one for years. And finally, the book company was like, we believe in you because you won't write a different kind of book, so we'll believe in you here. So we did, and it's great. It's great. So thank you very much. All right. All right. Do you know? Okay. I'm getting tired. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been just sitting here talking to myself for 30 minutes. Even when I do the show, I get to go pee. Or we'll play like 2 songs an hour maybe. Or have somebody to talk to. I've been going nonstop for 30 minutes. So I'm going to do like 2 more minutes. And then I'm going to go eat lunch. And I got another interview I have to do for an hour over here.
What's for lunch?
I don't know what's for lunch, Morgan. Because I just got home. I literally ran in the house and did this. Which, by the way, this behind me, fake set. I use it all the time. If I'm doing anything, Zoom, or if they're going to, like, hey, we'll go check in with Bobby on TV. This is real stuff. CMAs and books, but we just set it up. This is not like a real bookshelf or anything. And how funny that I just put all my books back there. We did that because that's all. We just want people to be like, oh, look at that book. Oh, look at that guy. Best fell until you don't. All right, I'm going to keep signing these. We're going to sign off. What do I need to do? Is there anything I need to do?
We'll just tell them goodbye.
Okay. I'd like to thank all the people who made this possible. Stanley, Morgan, Reed, and you. What are you guys whispering over there? Something good happening or bad? Oh, no. Yeah. If I get off this and we've sold 3 books, I'm about to be pissed. All right, guys. A couple things I will mention. One, I got 2 shows happening in Nashville. There's no tickets to the Saturday show. They're individual alone tickets. I don't think you want those, but you can try. Although there are a couple sets of those limited view tickets, but the views aren't limited. We went and looked at them. They're fine. They're great, actually. There's no limited view. There's a bar in front of people, but it comes up to like right here. So you but because they don't want you to fall off and tumble off into the crowd. So if you want to come to the Saturday show of my comedically inspirational show, you can. There are still some balcony tickets for the Friday show, and the Friday show always takes a little bit longer to sell than the Saturday because people are coming from out of town and it's hard to get in town. So if you want to come to the Friday show, there are still some tickets there if you want to come. Not many. I think I saw there were like 13 pair left, period, in the whole theater. So it'll be a good show. It's part like motivational speech. It's mostly a comedy show. Eddie's going to come out. Raging Idiot's going to play a little bit. We got some things up on the screen you're going to like, but that's happening. Don't forget Snake in the Grass is on Tuesday after America's Got Talent on NBC. Then it goes over to USA Network. And then Stanley the Dog, this book right here that you can buy for $20 by pushing that button. I didn't make any money for doing this. I ain't making any money if you buy it. I think it's a book with a great message, and we're donating any money we make in the first year to Wags and Walks in Nashville. So I am not doing this to buy a new fanny pack. Although I do have some pretty good bags. I'm not going to lie to you. They're pretty good. That's it. Have an awesome day, everybody. And
Sold 193 books today.
okay. I don't know how I feel about that. Is that good or bad?
Pretty good.
They just told me we sold 1 million books. No, but you can buy $20. And thank you guys. And that is all. Good night.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.